All right, I think we're live. ATF Media says that's got some intel and that I should never mention Ruby, Grace, Ben, or any part of the Thorpe clan ever again. Wow. All right. Well, whoa. What happened here? Wrong cam. My bad. That's the Boit Watch camera. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace. I don't have to say wherever you are. I know where Grace is. Uh, she is meeting up with OPC Don, which is tells you that the Thorpes are probably at rock bottom. He's helping them fix up the RV this morning. Yesterday they did a weird humiliation ritual stream where Ben critiqued Grace's body off some lingerie that Radio Foreman had sent in. They reacted to Ruby, obviously. Ruby had a depression nest cleaning stream. Healthy Family Force returned to streaming yesterday. They did 2 streams. They went to Macy's. What's up, Eddie? They went to Macy's and they went somewhere else, I think shopping. VP live always. But I was clipping, I was doing a 90-minute clip of Vegan Patriot. And I guess I didn't get it. I guess I didn't get it. I guess I didn't get it clipped. She must have got mad at somebody or something and either ended it or privated it, so I missed out on the end of it. What's up, Amber? What's up, Joe Shabatoni? Come on, man. You know if the Thorpes are calling OPC, he's a last resort, man. Not for content-wise. I like the content. But I'm just saying. What's up, Jeremy? All right, we got George Dorunda today. I think that's an update on everybody. What was Tony Yeoman's video? Tony Yeoman made a video, and the subject of the video was his neighbors again. So we'll have to check that out sometime. But yeah, I think that's it for the streaming update. VP had a great stream yesterday of real tons. She did about a 2-hour talk with chat that was just all lore. It was perfect. And of course, I didn't get it all clipped. But anyway, George Dorunda, this is episode 16 of Primetime. Oh, next week. Much to ATF's displeasure, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be doing a super deep dive into the mind of Ben Thorpe. Then Wednesday, we're going to do... I think I want to do... This is going to sound crazy, and I understand if nobody wants to watch it, but maybe we'll do... Yeah, we have to do it on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I think I want to do a... I think I want to do a rodeo. I think I want to do an old 80s or 90s rodeo. I know that sounds crazy, but I've never really watched one. So I thought that would be good. And then we'll do our regular Dorunda and Memphis. But this Ben deep dive I think is going to be really interesting. And there's some lore that goes along with it that we'll talk about when we watch the video. But anyway, all right, episode 16 of Primetime, EFO, Fries, SS Yo, and we know the entertainers. I don't recognize a bunch of these people. Well, that's 4 out of 6 episodes that are non-Thorpe related. So that's pretty good. All right, let's get going. Episode 16 of Primetime. Did I unpause it? Yeah, okay. Hey, Randy, what's up? Oh, that was really dry. It's true, I'm covering up an open wound.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda. We've got some big news about today's show. The Museum of Broadcasting has just phoned. They'd like a copy of today's show.
Big deal, George.
That opening picture looks like a memorial, in loving memory of. How old would this guy be now? How old would Mark be now? He's what, early 20s here? Teenager or early 20s? So, oh gosh, he'd be in his 50s now? Oh my God, wow. Man, that was heavy. Museum of Broadcasting. I think with Trump putting in all these people in these weird people in these positions, why doesn't he put me in charge of the Library of Congress so that we could get every episode archived permanently there? That's my thinking. Available in mono. Killer Kowalski. Slaps, man.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Prime Time. And let me tell you, what a show we've pasted together for you this time.
It kind of does, He-Man. It does have like the demo button
On Prime Time, because coming up on the big show, we have Amy Lou Porter of the Springfield Symphony Youth Orchestra.
The entertainers.
And we'll be making fries.
But to start off the big show, we have EFO.
That's the Eddie Foreman.
I wondered what the fries thing was going to be. So he's actually going to we're going to get to see George Dorunda make French fries.
Orchestra
It's the same thing, George.
All right,
There's no
EFO,
difference.
Eddie Foreman Orchestra. Here they are to perform Still Around.
Radio Foreman Orchestra. Here you go, ATF.
Something that I couldn't find anywhere else. Hey, I'm not trying to be nobody.
Play it backwards.
I just want a chance to be myself. I spent a lot of time playing. Yes, I've been working on my keys, trying to find me something better. Hope the music's what I need. Hey, you don't know if you don't like me. This tune will tell you how I feel. Then you can sit around and judge me. We're still around and we're for real.
Do you think these people lived at do you think eventually they moved to the Villages, that like swingers resort in Florida? Everybody polka. This is what ThorpeCon 2025 is going to be like.
Spent some time down in New Jersey and cruised the islands day
Two chicks dancing together? That's what I'm talking about.
by day. From Detroit back to New England, my hometown is where I'll stay. And it's been over 20 years now.
This is a sad song.
I've seen them come, I've seen them go, but I'm still here with my heart playing, giving you everything I know. Hey, you don't know if you don't like me.
I keep waiting to look at the drummer, but I can't. They won't show the guy.
This tune will tell you how I feel. Then you can sit around and judge me. We're still around and we're for real.
I'm going to take an ad out in my local newspaper, and I'm going to say that I'm a polka singer looking for a band. And that's it. That's all I'm going to put in the ad. I can do that, right? This is pretty basic singing, I feel like. You don't have to hit any high notes or anything. Maybe that's my calling. Like the guy who wrote Lord of the Rings didn't write the book till he was my age, the first Lord of the Rings book. So maybe even though I'm old now, maybe I can have my second act as a Tony Clifton type polka singer. Hell yeah.
Well, that was EFO and still around.
I'm bricked up after that.
But hey, hold on to something, because when we come back, we're gonna be making fries.
Hey, stick around.
We're gonna be making fries. Oh man, there's an interview with George. I don't know if it's from an episode, that's why we haven't watched it. But if we get to the end of the run of Primetime and we haven't seen it, we'll go back and watch he did an interview with George the Animal Steel. That's actually how I found Primetime, was because I found that interview and then I was like, wow, this guy's interesting. And then I clicked on it and I was like, oh my God, almost 100 episodes of this show. Polka singer arc, hell yeah. We're gonna have a #1 hit, Roll Out the Black Tank. Hey, Bob Brown.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young. We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about
this is
us.
bad timing on this ad. Don't forget that we need to thank Jedi Joy for her service.
Guests are hams in the fry business. At least that's what they told me. We're here.
Okay, so he's at like a fair or something inside of one of the carts. This guy's great, man. He knows how to go to a place and get every fucking... Okay, this guy doesn't leave an event with one drop of content not filmed. Like this guy, I think he did a lot of this at that one fair, remember? I feel like we've gotten a lot of footage from that. So he knows how to get content. He's patient. He holds back, content. He's not just rushing putting it all out there. George Dorunda's a seasoned professional.
At Jack's Frying over here at the Big E.
Very Luke.
By the way, where is Jack?
I don't know. I think he's resting this afternoon.
Jack is
Yeah.
resting this afternoon.
He's very busy,
Now, what are the top secrets?
Well,
What's special about your fries?
we use natural potatoes, for one thing.
I can see that. All natural potatoes.
Natural potatoes.
And you don't fry them in grease?
No, sir. We use vegetable oil, non-cholesterol.
Is that cholesterol free?
Yes, sir.
That means there's no charge for the cholesterol either.
Well, there's none in it. So we're not giving
That's why there's no charge.
Yeah, right. Temperature is important.
George doesn't believe in cholesterol, so he's just making sure that there's no additional charges.
How you cook them and keeping your
Now they go
oil
through
clean.
2 stages of cooking.
Yeah. 2.
Well, first you wash your potatoes, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they get washed, then they get sliced, and we slice it with the skins on.
These are real man's
These
potatoes,
are-
not like,
yeah,
not like
exactly.
those wimpy curly Q potatoes that you find at some of these other stands.
These are
These
real
are real
potatoes.
man's
Right.
potatoes.
Did he release the Porta-John footage though? He might have kept that for himself.
Real potatoes. They get blanched in the first fryer-laters, down the first 2 fryer-laters, and then we bring them up and brown them over here, and we snap, crispy. They're not mushy.
So that's the
That's
secret
it,
to a
well,
good fry.
a good
Crispy on the outside, not mushy on the inside.
Well, yeah, body on the inside, crispy on the outside. That's what most people like them.
And how many pounds of potatoes do you think you'll be going through in the
That I couldn't tell you.
during
At the end of a busy night.
I really don't know for sure, but it's sure a lot of them pass in front.
This is a fun fact for me. George is making fries at the Big E, the same place where Hooplandia would take place 25 years later. I mean, are you sure about that? It could be possible.
Yeah. You have no idea.
Would it be like my weight in potatoes in a day?
Most people, and again, I haven't made content out in the world regularly for a while, but like, to me, a lot of people will go someplace to make content and then will like ignore 90% of the sources of content because it's not like really funny or drama or whatever, when you need like many types of content to fill a stream or to fill a show. But I feel like George is he's sniffing out every second of footage. He probably just asked these people, like, for real. He probably just walked up and was like, hey, would you mind if I filmed inside of this place? And they were like, okay, sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Put your phone number on there, put your business on there, or your name, whatever. I mean.
Now over here at Jack's, you also have something
Freedom Fries. It really is the area. That is crazy that it's at Hooplandia. Wow. Oh man, I have to not think about Hooplandia right now.
special. It's cheese on fries.
Yeah, exactly. Tammy, you want
That's amazing.
Well, who came up with that idea?
Actually, it's really big down south.
Exactly.
Supposedly they say cheese is, very popular down south. And it's been a great seller up here. I'm from Buffalo, and there's a few restaurants in Buffalo that have it. And it's the first year I've ever seen cheese on fries. But a lot of people seem to have tried it before, and come to us specifically.
But it's nothing really new.
For us it is.
For you it is, but they've had it
For
down
a lot
south
of
before.
people. Yeah, for a lot
It's
of people.
new for me, that's for sure.
You want some French fries? Now, hey, George did his job. Now you just have to go to wherever this is and look this guy up. We need to buy fries from him. Support the economy. Let's call. He's probably passed away. Maybe his kids have some fries.
But you like it, don't you?
Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Some with cheese.
Okay, now these are with cheese, and it's melted, mild cheddar cheese. Can you hold that?
Sure.
We need 2 hands for fries.
And a couple extra napkins. So good.
Without anchovies.
Without anchovies.
And I understand Tammy she was almost a celebrity.
Yeah, she was.
Just the other day here at the fair.
Yeah, yesterday, as a matter of fact. She saw somebody drop a $100 bill outside.
Does this guy ever stop shaking these goddamn fries? Through the whole thing, he's shaking these fries.
Picked it up, came back in and said, look what I found. And a couple minutes later, this old gentleman walked back up looking for it. And everybody outside of it, no, you know how people are. Tammy said, I can't do that, she said. Why don't we give it back to the old gentleman? Wow. I thought it was really decent.
And you wanted to call in the papers, but she wanted nothing to do
Well,
with
we
that.
were going to put it in the
Died in the
paper that circulates through the fairgrounds every morning. She didn't want to have any part of it, but now she doesn't have any choice, does she?
Now she's a real celebrity. Tammy, you win the Fryer of the Year award.
Congrats, Tammy.
Thank you. Very much.
Well, hey, the fries are great. I really like them with cheese.
Great.
It's been a great segment. Thanks for being here.
You can tell he liked him because he didn't eat a second one.
Hey, stick around. We'll be back with more prime time right after this.
He just did the Obama Flint water sip on the fries.
Boy, that smog outside is terrible.
Don't you just hate what they're doing to the environment?
They? What about you?
Moi?
Sure, lots of household products can cause pollution, especially if we don't use them in the
fry
right way.
shaker.
To find out
He's still mad he had to give that $100 back.
how you can help, write to Make a Difference, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C. 20036.
I just love it when you talk environmental.
Welcome back to Prime Time. Hey, music is her business. Well, that sounds like a record title. But she's going to tell us about her business
Who's this behind him? Security?
with the Springfield Youth Orchestras. She's Amy Lou Porter.
Oh, Amy.
Well, Amy Lou, welcome to Prime Time.
Thank you, thank you.
And this group we have assembled, what exactly is the Western Math Youth Orchestra?
Well, our
Yeah, I think he just took the one fry. I don't even know if he ate the whole fry.
Western Massachusetts Youth Orchestra really consists of 2 performing orchestras. We have our Young People's Philharmonia, which is a string ensemble that has students who are in 5th grade all the way up through 10th grade in high school who play violin, viola, cello, and double bass. We also have our young people
Everybody in this scene looks creepy and uncomfortable. Amy Lou Porter, no relation to Mary Lou Dragon.
Symphony, of which these students are all from. And our Young People Symphony is actually a full orchestra. We have close to 50 members, and we have all the string players, plus winds, brass, and percussion in that orchestra.
Now these groups branch out into smaller organizations?
Right. We, in the Young People Symphony in January...
George's interview with Jeffrey Epstein, he's like, so you got a whole island? You just hang out there and have fun?
Started a program that's called Ensembles
What if he does it? What if George interviews him on site?
for Hire. The program was designed by our conductor, Naila Basni, who...
Have we verified that George Dorunda was not on the flight list?
Put these different chamber ensembles together based on students' abilities, location where they come from. We have students from the Amherst and Belchertown area, as well as students from Springfield, Longmeadow, Agawam, and Westfield and West Springfield. So we've put these chamber ensembles together, and what we like to do is send them out into the community to perform at different functions. And then the money that they raise is in turn given back to the orchestra as a sort of a fundraiser for trips that we would take in the future.
In addition to giving them some professional type experience.
Yeah.
And what are the benefits of playing in a chamber ensemble? Do the kids really get into it?
I think so. I think that when you're playing in a chamber ensemble,
What do you guys think about, like, does anybody remember, or maybe you've seen them on YouTube or something, but they used to make these VHS tapes back in the day. Some of them were like self-defense oriented, and some of them were like common sense stuff, but it was like videos on how to avoid being a victim. I found a bunch of them. I'm thinking about putting a stream of those together.
are able to develop a sense of musicianship. You learn to be more...
But they cover like all topics. It's not just like crime in the like violent crime. It's also like how to avoid being a victim of like phone scams and stuff like that. But it's all from like the 80s and 90s.
Independent in your thought and your approach to your music. You learn how to work without a conductor. And you have 3 or 4 other people in your group, and you learn how to work from each other and with each other.
Working together as a team.
Working as a team. And it also allows you, like I said before, that...
If you're going to do this kind of show, Randy, and you're 100% right, he does. He treats everybody, everyone he encounters, he pretty much handles the same way. But you kind of have to, because otherwise it's really hard to get guests and stuff, just from a practical standpoint, if you're worried about getting like shit on when you come on prime time. But yeah, I mean, you can tell when he's bored and stuff, but I feel like anything he thinks, let me put it this way. I think that George is predominantly trying to find things that he thinks people will want to watch more so than what he wants to make, if that makes sense.
sense of independence in your music, which you can carry over.
Yes, exactly. Those kind of videos, yeah.
Into your technical skills that you need in the orchestra. For instance, playing
victim shaming,
inaccurate tune, your sense of rhythm and counting. You learn the sense of counting, and you learn how you put music together as a whole.
Now, when you mention trips, I hope you're referring to something a little farther than Holyoke.
Right. Actually, this year in April,
a little more elegant.
A little bit, yeah. We took our Young People Symphony to Washington, D.C. this past April, where they played at the United States Capitol. They played for the festivals of music in Fairfax.
And he's very, and I really appreciate this too. Some people think it was cheesy or whatever, but he's extremely community oriented. He's trying to put over businesses and individuals and artists that are in his community, which is, pretty good. It'd be tough to do now though, because everybody's has their little pet issues that they don't want to work with. If they see somebody they don't like on your show, then they wouldn't want to be a guest or whatever.
Virginia. And we also did some rehearsing with the Greater Baltimore Youth Symphony. And
yeah, exactly, South to West. South to West says George's approach to journalism that he must reduce his ego so that the story or guest takes center stage. 100%. And then he gets his little moments to shine, but he doesn't. I don't feel like anyway that I've never seen him overpower or overwhelm a guest in an interview. I feel like he lets them lead, and he'll put in a little joke, and then he does his stuff in the vignettes. the George Dorunda content is in the bumpers and the segues.
Visited Baltimore on our way down.
Kind of a glasnost, the collaboration of the youth symphonies.
Right. And that was actually quite exciting. We had 2 orchestras, and they played 2 different pieces, and we had, I think, a total of 98 players from the 2 orchestras, and I think which would have been the biggest orchestra that any of our students would have ever played in. So that was a nice experience. We played at the Festivals of Music in Fairfax, Virginia. We were given an excellent rating by the Festivals of Music. We got very high honors in the sight reading division, and we were awarded
Interesting
a fabulous
camera angle.
trophy.
Oh, never mind. I'm dumb.
For our efforts.
It actually was a good camera because she was talking about the trophy. I thought first I didn't process it first. It took my high brain a second to catch up.
In Virginia.
So all monies generated help to support trips.
These trips, and we hope to do many more like the Washington trip.
And how long has this group, this is the Crimson Quartet?
Crimson Quartet.
And how long have they been together?
Since January, since we started the program in January.
I have a couple, they're not like this, but I have a couple Zoom interviews I did with people during social distancing. But I've got one with a director that's kind of similar to this, and he made a movie back in the 90s and it never got a premiere or anything. And then it ended up actually getting like more or less lost. You could have ordered it direct from the dude back in the day, but eventually he ran out of copies after 30 years. So I put on the actual like official premiere 30 some years later, and I interviewed him, but it has this kind of I feel like it has this kind of a vibe to it.
January.
And could you introduce them for us?
Certainly.
From one end to the other?
Okay.
Except that I'm really high and I fuck up one question.
Behind me we have Elizabeth Leslie, who plays violin, and Rohit Udipi, who plays violin, Allison Stakowitz, who plays viola, and Christina Heafy, who plays the cello.
So, Elizabeth,
Yes.
do you really enjoy the group?
Yes, I enjoy playing in the group.
Is it somehow your worst nightmare, though, that being a violin player, that
How many are the
you might
Crimson
be playing
Quartet?
polkas at the Kielbasa Festival?
Well, I'm not into that type of music. I prefer the classical.
Good thing.
I prefer the classical music, and I enjoy playing in a quartet. I don't think I'll be playing in a polka festival later in life. I don't plan to become a professional musician, but if I minor in the college, or I plan to support my symphony when I'm older. So support the arts.
Do any of you plan on continuing?
I plan on continuing.
I get all these blank looks.
I plan on continuing music throughout college and hopefully beyond that. But I don't plan on making it my profession.
Her family, completely recording it, yeah.
I do it for fun mainly.
It can be a tough life.
Yeah.
Well, I understand we have a selection prepared.
Yes, I
There we
believe
go.
we're going to hear part of the Boccherini String Quartet, Opus
Now we've had a huge build up for this. What do you think? Is going to be any good?
33, number 6, and I think we'll hear the first movement.
Sounds good. Let's hear it.
Where's the other one? Would I consider them trad girls? Hard to say. Somewhere, if these people are still alive, these people would be like, I think would be like early to mid 50s. That's pretty. I'm struck by that for some reason. I mean, these people, I mean, is this George's living room? I mean, imagine the insights these people could have. We have to find these people. They should play the theme to Terminator 2. I'm trying to get a good look at this art in the background, but I can't. Doilies. I just feel like you have to be a certain kind of person who really has an appreciation for people and for art and for culture to go through all the trouble that this guy goes through. Like, it just amazes me. Like, I don't see a lot of people picking a lot of the people that he puts on the show, and I don't know if that was out of necessity or not, but I just think he really has to, like, I mean, he probably had to know that this show probably wasn't going to become like a global hit or whatever. I mean, a lot of this has to be just done out of his desire to like promote these people, like to promote their art and stuff. And in his day, you couldn't do it like just finding YouTube. Like, you had to physically go to places, or you had to like bring people to you, and like, it was just so much more legwork involved in it. It's basically finding 3 semi, at least potentially watchable things every week, you know. And then I guess he gets a bonus for being able to package a lot of them by shooting so much stuff at each event. But still, like, finding that many interesting things seems crazy. The opera guy was hilarious, though. Like, his singing was whatever, but his like personality was so terrible. Great segment, though. This group is actually going to reunite should George Dorunda pass away, and they're going to play. This group is going to reunite one time only to play the Coffin Dance song for George. Like, and he's letting this breathe. It's not just like, you know, 30 or 60 seconds to get a, like, he's letting them like genuinely perform on the show. And again, like South to West was saying earlier, you have to, this is George's show, but like, he doesn't see it that way at all. Like, he's just like the middleman on the show. Like, the fact that he'll step out of the way for just like segments that are this long, I mean, it says a lot. George is an American treasure, I'm just going to say.
Wow, that really sounded great.
Wasn't it wonderful?
Oh, I haven't heard anything like that recently.
Great. Good.
Now, if any of our viewers are interested in the group, who books the group? How can they be contacted?
Well, each group has a parent mentor who volunteers their time to sort of supervise the scheduling and then actually goes into the community and tries to see if there's an opportunity for playing. We've had parents who have gone out and booked their students for weddings, dinner parties. We did an alumni event for a local college, and we also try to feature the chamber ensembles on different types of symphony programs. So there's a lot of opportunity for performance.
And if they're interested in the Crimson Quartet, who do they call?
Okay, they could call Dorothy Stakowitz at 567-8667, or they could call me at the Symphony 733-0636.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on Prime Time. I'd like to thank you for appearing.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Wonderful. Great.
Thanks again. Thanks, guys. Hey, we'll be back with more Prime Time right after this. Stay with us.
Charles Bronson isn't happy.
Sure takes guts to vandalize parks or beat up on trees. But that's what some jerks are doing to our public lands. Only the land can't fight back. But we can. We can save our lands, you and me. Let's face it, someone who gets his kicks punching out flowers shouldn't be too much of a match for us.
Write Take Pride in America. Post Office Box 1339, Jessup, Maryland 20794.
Hey, Pally, anybody that gets their kicks punching flowers. Look at this guy, man.
Okay, we're back now.
We are? Oh, okay. Here are the entertainers. And Teach Me Tonight.
Oh, my Lord. This is going to be good. This is a really music head. We got music and French fries, basically. Once again, George does not acknowledge the fact that his band is the one that's being featured. Oh my gosh.
Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn, since this is the perfect spot to learn. And teach me tonight. Starting with the ABC of them, right down to the XYZ of them. Help me solve.
I think George has the most unusual, maybe one of the most unusual come-overs ever.
The mystery of it, and teach me to.
Wow.
Skies a blackboard high above me. If a shooting star goes.
God, I wish these were brains. Wow, George. A scandalous song, I guess. You need scandalous pictures. Absolutely, they did ATF Media. This is another case. We've seen like, what, at least 3 or 4 songs from this show on here. But he's smart and he spaces them out so that you don't... we notice because we're watching them one after another, but at the time, you probably would notice like after a while, like, hey, that they're at the same show, but you wouldn't notice like the exact same stuff because you've got 2 or 3 weeks in between.
To write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stencil me, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love.
Killing it, George. Hit it, man.
Teach me. Play it, Joe.
62 views, man. Like, come on, dude. That's depressing. Oh my God, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt this great song, but somebody, if you're familiar with Boit Watch, there's a video on Boit Watch called Asian Assyrian Elvis. Or what is it? No, Persian Assyrian Elvis. And I just made a video of him singing a song and then doing a live performance because I thought he was such an interesting character. I don't know if it's legitimate or not, but somebody commented on the video and said that that was their dad and thanked me for making the video and said that he had passed away in 2023 and that he was a long-haul trucker. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true and Persian Assyrian Elvis is no longer with us, he will live forever in the stardust of Boit. So Godspeed, Persian Assyrian Elvis.
The sky is a black hole high above me. If a shooting star goes by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love.
George also isn't afraid to film people who don't want to be filmed because he only needs like a 2 or 3 second reaction. A lot of the people at this specific show always seem like really annoyed, but that could be Mark out filming, I guess, out on the grassy knoll.
When teach me tonight. When teach me tonight.
If you had to pick one song for the Entertainers, George's band, that like, this is the one to show people, like, this is it. Teach Me Tonight is the, so far, definitive. I think it's head and shoulders above the rest of the songs. George killed it. Perfect. Oh, hold on a second, ATF Media. So you're saying that you, while you're watching Grace, you get a boner. And then by the time you've watched enough of it, your boner has gone away. I mean, were you watching yesterday? Did you get a boner during the humiliation ritual?
That was this guy right here, George Dorunda, with
He's definitely not afraid of wearing tight shirts.
the Entertainers with Teach Me Tonight. Boy, you sounded great, George.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite songs, Mark.
Interesting, now we finally have it. Mark, his co-host, has called him out as being the guy in the band.
But hey, is it time to wrap this one up?
We're all wrapped up once again this week.
Time to wrap up another show. But I'd like to thank all our guests.
The Entertainers.
EFO.
No, it's the Eddie Foreman Orchestra, George.
We already talked about that, Mark. EFO is the same thing as the Eddie Foreman Orchestra. But also Amy Lou Porter of the Springfield Symphony Youth Orchestra.
And Jack's Fries.
Jack's Fries, weren't they great with cheese?
Yeah, they were real good.
George doing this is like those times when Ben lets Grace pretend like she's in charge of the show.
Really enjoyed those. Hey, do join us again next time on Primetime. Good night, everybody.
I'll just be here. I'll just be passive. I'll be a slave. I won't do it. I'll just sit here. And he's like, now can we talk about that though? Oh, Bushwhacker. Wait, a guy named Mark that really likes wrestling and really likes George Dorunda? Is this like, I need to meet up with this Mark, with the alternate timeline Mark. I've got a picture of me with a cannon. I'll have to find it. And put it in the credits for my Amish episode of my version of Primetime. Billy Joe Travis from Memphis. And Jimmy Hart, baby. Eddie Radio Foreman. Did you guys like how Radio Foreman sent that lingerie in, and at first Ben complained that not enough of Grace's breast was visible, and then he really degraded the quality of the garment and said that Radio Foreman had sent her a cheap junk, essentially. There you go. Oh, I didn't get it in time, but did you see it? You could see him getting the close up of George. How relaxing. That was awesome. What a nice way to finish. That was the kind of thing where you get your massage and then you get like the hot towel at the end to like really relax you on the way out.
You know, the best thing about doing primetime is you get to come to all these great food festivals. We're
George Dorunda and a stereotypical Italian chef. I'm in. Already.
Here at the Taste of East Longmeadow at the Big Y booth, and our chef Al. Al, what do you think I should try first? The spicy chicken or the tortellini?
Go for the spicy chicken wings.
Go for the spicy chicken wings.
You'll like those.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be the best show ever.
George Dorunda deserves at least 10% of that Hot Ones podcast. He originated eating wings, hot wings as content. Instead of The Simpsons did it, in Boytland, it's Dorunda did it. He might have seen it. He might not remember. I mean, it would have been aired in that. Well, I guess the Northeast is like New England is a big place, but there's a chance he could have seen an episode. Thanks, Cody Turbo. Luckily, monotyping is available here. Yep.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And let me tell you, this show is too much fun for...
Okay, south to west, you have to appreciate this, bro. Operation Desert Cookie.
Any human to have, because we're here at the Taste of East Longmeadow at the 14 Carats booth. And let's see, we have Belgian chocolate chunk
cookies.
We have cheesecake.
With a chocolate cream cheese, Rainforest Crunch creme de cocoa topping.
And we have shrimp.
Marinated in lemon.
And what's on the end here?
Broccoli salad, our famous broccoli salad.
Broccoli salad. But hey, coming up on the big show, from the Lawrence Welk Show, Sally Hart.
The entertainers.
Officer Doug Pearl of the Connecticut State Police, and
the entertainers are back already. He had to shoot my theory down that he was spacing them out.
World's fastest airbrush artist. Hey, what do you suggest after spicy chicken?
Definitely chocolate chunk cookies.
Okay, Mark, you tackle the shrimp. I'll grab this.
Tackle the shrimp, Mark.
So great. Let's start off the big show with Center Stage and Boy from New York City.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go. He looked like Dorunda verse Prancess. Hey, Tom Space, what's up? If you're not old enough to remember this color, I don't. What was it? Did they call it teal? This color and like forest green were fucking everywhere, but especially that teal for like a little run there in the 90s was just, oh my god, it was inescapable. Tracy Smothers. Yeah, I think we've seen this band before. I think it was the last episode on the previous stream they were in. But she was up here with her. They were doing like a duet. I mean, I just love this approach. George is like, hey, you guys are in a band and you think you're good enough to be on a show, and all these people are like, sure, and then they just come on and he just lets them perform and that's it. He doesn't really even comment on it most of the time. I just like that format of just like letting people do what they do. He really pioneered a way in for us chaotic neutral trolls. Man, she's going for it because she don't want to do another. She doesn't want to bring that other chick up for the duet.
Yes, that was Center Stage and Boy from New York City, and we're here at the big taste of East Long Meadow at the Blue.
No, that was wonderful. That was not this. Just that was them.
Bird Acres booth. Tell me, what would you suggest to wash down a Belgian chocolate cookie?
After that, you need a glass of cider.
Cider.
What a great delivery from this lady.
Let's toast the taste. Cider, Mark.
No, I'll have the real thing. I'm gonna have an apple.
Speaking of Jimmy, he made a post, different Jimmy, but Jimmy, the guy in Oceanside, he made a video that was, I can't remember what the title was, but it was or a community post, but it was really inflammatory, and like he said he was gonna start like hurting people and stuff if they can quit messing with him, and he tagged like the Masons, the FBI, the UN, and then me, and I was like, great.
Mark wants an apple, but hey, when we come back, we're gonna have the state police.
They're gonna be coming after you, George.
I'm sorry, but that was absolutely perfect timing on that. George knows it too, because look, it critically hit him. He's stun locked, and then the lady's loving it. She's like, that was great. We got to see it one more time.
An apple, but hey, when we come back, we're gonna have the state police.
They're gonna be coming after you, George.
I sure hope not.
Such convincing. Oh no, I can't.
Up next in the program, an interview for those of you that care with your host. We'll be right back.
Book 'em, Daniel.
For those of you who care. For those of you who care, I'll be watching a rodeo on Wednesday.
Fozzie, what is this?
Oh, Kermit, it's my new ball.
I'm talking about this mess.
They're coming for you, George.
You know, Fozzie, when you buy things that are overpackaged, you create more garbage and hurt the environment.
I do?
Try to choose products that aren't overpackaged and recycle whenever you can.
You mean like this banana peel?
You can recycle a banana peel?
Sure. Yeah!
To find out how you can help, write to Make a Difference, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C. 20036.
Isn't comedy wonderful?
Yes, we're here. Primetime visits the taste of East Long Meadow. We're here at Romito's, and let's see, what do we have to choose from?
We have the sausage on a stick, Harry's homemade sausage.
I mean, if you're a content creator, isn't cop interaction usually good for content? So George doesn't want to have to get arrested for stalking, so he's just it's a good get to get a cop to put the cuffs on you for your video, I think.
Sausage, either hot or sweet.
No, I'm not gonna try that.
And
hot sausage grinder with peppers and onions.
I'll tell you what, Mark, you take the grinder because you need to put on a little.
I agree 100%, Ananje, and that always irritates me, this idea that we as individuals, if we collectively work together to do whatever, couldn't accomplish or couldn't turn back a fraction of what like one big company does. Yet there's no, well, as we're seeing now, all that, like what little stuff was enforced on companies is going away. Like, but the idea that we as individuals are actually carrying this burden is outrageous to me.
Wait, I'll stay on the diet. I'll take the sausage on a stick. Hey, let's visit the Connecticut State Police. Well, we're here with the Connecticut State Police and Doug Pearl. No, I haven't been arrested, at least not yet. Doug, nice to meet you.
Yeah, like the company down the road is just directly dumping, shit into our local river, but I am not gonna buy this cool thing I liked because it may come with additional packaging.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Primetime.
Ralph, right?
George.
Okay.
George. It's my show. I'll tell the jokes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And I understand you produce videos for the Connecticut State Police.
Yes, that's correct.
And what types of videos do you produce?
Well, everything that you see on broadcast television, all the PSAs. I'm the producer and director.
Do you use real drugs for drunk driving?
This is so interesting to me. I was just talking about how George never steps on anybody, yet this is the first interview where he seemed like he wants to fuck with the person that he's interviewing. Don't you think so? I think his energy here is interesting, and the dude doesn't, unless they worked it out beforehand or whatever, but the guy legit seems like he's getting upset, or he's getting irritated, I should say.
No, everything that we do put together is put together with actors, actresses. We do use talent. The only thing that we don't use talent for is when we have a trooper portraying a trooper that is a real cop. So cops are not actors, and sometimes you run into a problem with that.
Or some cops are actors.
That's true. That's true. But then, if they're actors, then what happens is they become producers, and they get to produce shows like this.
Well, that's another question. How would you compare Primetime to anything that you've produced?
Well, that's quite simple. I'm an award-winning producer and director. Are you?
Well, we've won awards. Not the same kind of awards.
Am I saying that if I was a streamer and you should interview the Connecticut State Police and they wouldn't bother you? Yes, you should absolutely do that. In fact, if you go back and watch I've shown you guys exactly one IRL video that I did back in the day, and as soon as I saw that cop, I went right over to him, and I was filming in an area where you weren't allowed to. Well, I was filming at a time when people didn't really film in, public libraries and stuff, and I had the big VHS camera on my shoulder. I went right up to that cop, man. Cops are content.
No, actually, we do put a quality piece together, and as a matter of fact, I'm even going to allow you to use one of my pieces in your show. We have a piece that we're going to give you. Better yet, I'll give you two pieces. Two pieces that you can insert in between, kind of like commercial breaks, when we say we'll be right back. PSAs, yeah. I'll give you one that deals with safety belts, and it's kind of a summary piece. We produced this one in Connecticut.
Oh boy, listen to this guy. Well, he's giving us behind the scenes shit on the PSA, which I'm mocking him, but I'm glad.
Down in Hammonasset State Park on the beach. You'll like this one. And
a lot of babes on the beach?
Yes, there are. There are. Teenage babes. You'll like that even better.
That sounds even better.
That's right. That's right.
Typically, I don't know. I just feel like when you're watching a stream as a viewer, if there's a police interaction, even if it's just benign, even if they just a streamer just it would be funny just if Ben said, "Hey, what's up?" to a cop. I think it would be entertaining. But yeah, I think you got to kind of include them. But I mean, don't agitate them or incite them. But I think you should, talking to them or whatever, they just tell you to move on if they didn't want to talk to you.
I like this guy.
Yeah. Then what we have is we've got another piece that deals with a DWI law which came into effect in Connecticut in the beginning of 1990.
The hat, I don't know. It's a weird. Maybe that's just how they all are. It looks like it sits weird to his head. It makes it look like the bottom half of his head is much wider than the top.
And that piece we're going to allow you to utilize as well, free of charge.
What could be better? Such a deal.
That's right.
Wow, way to give a taxpayer back a product that they literally paid for, officer. George Dorunda's taxes paid for that PSA. Technically, George Dorunda should be credited as an executive producer.
But what we also produce, we produce all of our own in-service training, and that is a big savings to the state because, as you know, the value of video.
Yeah, I bet this guy's paying himself $400,000 a year to be an additional fee for directing.
Even in corporate industry, is saving so much money because we can deal with more people in 30 seconds than an entire corporation will deal with in a year, right? Because the power of video reaches out and touches you.
Savvy guy, I don't think would confront anybody. I think he would just go out in the parking lot and be like, welcome back to another presentation. Women who work at retail and have a bad attitude are demons. You know what I'm saying?
So I like that. That could be our graphic. Do that again.
But what else do we do? We also produce.
He's asking his own questions though.
We also produce the public relations pieces, like we're playing up here at the Eastern States today. We've got pieces that we'll send with troopers when they go and talk to groups and whatnot, because you can't take a bomb with you when you go and deal with a group. So you want to deal with a group and show them what our bomb disposal unit can do? I'll send a video. I'll videotape all of this hazardous.
Oh my God, can you imagine if George got to film with the bomb disposal crew?
All of the hazardous situations, yeah.
So it's dangerous duty, really, running a video camera.
Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah, ticket, yeah. That's our theme here.
Oh boy, wow, this guy's really something. What a great What a great get here for George.
Here, by the way, is speeding gets you nowhere fast.
Now, have you ever stopped any celebrities personally?
Celebrity.
Well, he's probably like a lot of people, right? And he's got this regular job, but I guarantee you he's not talking about police work with the same passion and enthusiasm that he's talking about. Okay, he's making PSAs, but like he's so driven like creatively that like he's using what little space he has to work in that, like to kind of live out his dream, which I respect. I think it's amazing. But I think this guy clearly is like he wants to be a performer, and he knows George won't, that George will just let him perform. So I think he feels comfortable with him. But yeah, it's just like, they didn't have YouTube back then. What could you could go on America's Funniest People, I guess, or something, but you didn't have a lot of like opportunities just to go like a direct platform out to people if you wanted to be, if you wanted to be an actor or musician or whatever.
Like David Letterman, a lot of celebrities live in Connecticut.
Not personally, no. Dave,
I understand he's quite a speeder.
Yeah, Dave has a working relationship with our department, and we fully appreciate his efforts in keeping our enforcement statistics high.
Yes,
that's a way to put it. The other thing that we do is we'll come and we'll talk with people like you. All you have to do is...
You think you could get a cop to talk to you like this on camera now?
Give us a call. Unfortunately, budgetary cutbacks have forced us to limit what we're able to do. And yes, we're up here today on straight time. No overtime involved.
No overtime for these guys.
No overtime involved.
Now, what would you do to me if you saw me speeding?
Oh, wow. George is acting out fantasies now with the cop.
Down the highways of Connecticut. Not that I speed.
If you caught me speeding on the street, what if I was stalking a woman through the streets of Connecticut?
Would I get special treatment now that we've met and we're good friends?
Yeah, we'd give you the same treatment we give Dave Letterman.
He was chasing Burt Reynolds.
Wow! A star's treatment.
That's
right.
Hey,
speaking of one of those PSAs, I think it's time for one right now.
Oh, we'll be right back.
That's my line. We'll be right back with more prime time after this. Stay with us.
Please.
George, once the camera's off, is like, officer, that was amazing, but listen, you got to really play it up. You're doing so good. You got to, let's more energy, more.
When I first got my license,
I rode an elephant with a trad girl one time.
every time I left the house, my parents would say, "Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did. Just didn't seem too cool. Besides, most of the time I was only going around the block. You know how parents are.
How tall are these
Always
people?
telling you
My
what
God,
to do.
Look how small
You
the
know
net
what?
is.
I wish I'd listened.
People must all be Thorpes.
I really do.
So that was the PSA that the guy, the sheriff, that the sheriff produced or whatever.
Yes, we're here at the Big E with Michael. He is the world's
Oh man, it's the guy from Queen.
fastest airbrush painter. Michael, welcome to Primetime.
Thank you.
How long have you been airbrush painting?
Well, about 15 years now.
And you do everything, not just...
Man, airbrush in the 90s was like... Again, it was just something that was almost like inescapable.
T-shirts, you do boats, trailers. You had a guy the other day, he brought in a motorcycle.
Yeah, if it'll hold still, I'll paint on it.
Too many microplastics.
No livestock.
Occasionally, actually, people.
Really? You've painted people?
Oh, yes.
What kinds of paintings do you put on people?
All different types of things, from just face painting. I've got some elaborate fine art.
Now, is that dangerous, face painting around the eyes with an airbrush?
Well, you turn the pressure down very low, use a very special paint for it, and it's...
Just think, because of this guy that used to do airbrush and setup at these county fairs or whatever, today we get some of the most amazing goon footage on YouTube of body painting. So shout out to this guy.
Probably safer than a lot of the makeup because the paint comes off very easy. It's not rubbed into the skin real hard.
How did you get the distinction of world's fastest airbrush painter?
Well, mostly from the crowds of people going, "Oh my God,
that shirt!
God, he's so fast!" So I put up a challenge, $1,000 against anybody that can beat me.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Of course, we go for quality too.
Well, you have to cover a certain amount of area with a certain amount of colors. Well, at the Miami Beach Convention Center, we put out, publicized an open challenge. People came to watch, a lot of artists, nobody challenged. I did 4 different designs, varying degrees of difficulty, all in under a minute each. One was like a name, about 12 seconds.
12 seconds for a name, something like this one over here. Dick.
Yeah, multicolored sunset, something similar to this, in about 54 seconds.
Oh, that's my aesthetic right there, wow.
And
that took 54 seconds, something similar to
this.
That is amazing. So
OPC Don and King are kind of like swooping into... The Thorpes are kind of bottoming out, and so they're bringing in, bringing OPC back, and I think, who was the other person that they were talking about? King, was it Dalmatian Dog and King? They were like rallying the Bannermen.
T-shirt you can crank out easily, one a minute.
Oh yeah, I can go very fast with them. Some elaborate ones, like my Marilyn Monroe, takes about 20 minutes to do.
Now, how long does it take you to do a trailer, or if somebody wanted a van done?
It depends what they want to have done on it. If it's something quick, it's quick, a couple minutes, or it could be
you could do a van
hours.
in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Dick Candy. What a pervert. Bart, Mr. J.
If it's something simple on it.
Tyrone. Uh-oh, look at this. Oh, Randy, I'm sorry if you're still watching this. I'm sorry that they brought up your old relationship with Samdi.
Name or something like that?
A name or like a business logo
Betty
about
the
so big. If it's an elaborate fantasy scene with dragons and wizards.
Yeah, D-Dog is back.
Wizards and castles and things that, that could take a couple hours to do. But not like a lot of van shops where you drop something off and it's there for a month.
For pinstriping and everything. Pinstripes must be real easy for you.
Hi.
Well, I do a free-handed pinstriping with a lot of swirls and curly cues. Straight pinstriping, I usually recommend somebody go to a paint and body shop. It's, why pay for an artist?
Why pay for the expert when you don't need it for
that?
I did that for a while, not the freehand, but I worked at a body shop for a while, and I used to do the pinstriping.
Straight pinstriping. Kind of how I view it.
That's Michael, the world's fastest airbrush artist. Is he fast or isn't he?
George,
she was too needy. Well, I understand. Hey, here's Panda South.
I wouldn't call him fast if he wasn't fast.
I suppose, Mark. Well, hey, we're here at the Big Taste of East Longmeadow. We're at the Panda South booth, and let's see, what do we have here?
We've got pork fried rice and chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers. What do you think would go better after sausage?
Chicken fingers?
Whoa, I think you'd probably be better off with chicken lo mein.
He's normally pretty hostile to Grace. It's got to be frustrating to be completely consumed by someone the way that he is by Grace, like to where she's just permanently always on his mind, and then to not be able to follow through is probably pretty frustrating.
Chicken lo mein.
Hey,
well, since we have pork fried rice, Mark, why don't you tackle the chicken fingers, and I'm going to have some pork fried rice. Hey, stick around because we're going to have, when we return from the Lawrence Welk Show, Sally Hart.
So you're a senior this year, getting ready for...
This ad would have been, according to South to West, directed at Ben Thorpe's age, right? At the time.
College.
Uh-huh.
Sports, too.
Uh-huh.
Studies, sports, and a job.
Uh-huh.
I guess you have to pay for your car.
Oh, no.
I can handle it.
It wasn't D-Dog, though. He wasn't the third in the Trinity. It was King TL, OPC Don, and Kitchen Man Dan were the three that Ben was calling in. But I don't know anything. I don't know the behind the scenes on it, so.
A student's most important job is getting a good education.
Ben saw that ad and he was like, you know what? I'm going to be a teacher. And then he did it. Thanks, George Dorunda. Man, the music is always good on this show.
Sally.
Sally.
Me, George.
How's that?
You, Sally. My next guest is part of a singing duo, the famous Sally and Clay Hart. And guess which one this is? The better looking one, Sally.
Sally. George.
Welcome to Primetime.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's see, did you get your
I bet ATF Media loves this jacket.
start with the Lawrence Welk group?
Yes, I started with Lawrence Welk way back. We took the Lennon Sisters' place.
Oh, man. Shit.
George.
The asshole. I love the vans that had the tiny windows in the back like that. I thought they looked so cool. But I like
Lennon
the ones,
Sisters, not the Linen Sisters.
I like the ones better, though, that had the bubble window.
That's another group from West Springfield.
That's it. We took the Lennon Sisters' place. And that's where Clay and I met. Clay came on the show a year after I was there and took Lynn Anderson's place. Now, Clay was nominated for a Grammy Award at that period of time. So he came on and sang country music for everybody.
Uh-huh.
That's where we met.
And Lawrence would introduce you. And now here they are, Sally and the Clay Hart.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if that was really George's van, it would have an airbrushed picture of Chet Dragon on it.
Yes, here's Clay Hart. Yes.
Any unusual experiences that you had back then?
Many. Oh, just fun. Just fun experiences.
It was a lot of fun. Lawrence was not a slave driver at all.
It was a good job. It was a good job. Yes, it was a wonderful experience, and he was, yes, a taskmaster, but he knew what his audience wanted, and so you have to respect that. He was 35 years on the road with one-nighters before he made it, so he knew what was.
Wait, how old is Ruby? Ruby's 35. This show is 35 years old. Ruby could have been conceived during Prime Time with George Dorunda. If she lived in Connecticut at the time.
Right.
And you did a lot of traveling back then too, as you are now.
Yeah, it's been about 22 years of travel.
Do you remember coming to the Big E back then?
Are you kidding? That was cool.
Oh, Ananje. If you're still in here, you just said the Big E.
Of course. I mean, this is about the.
I can't believe Dorunda filmed at the same place as Hooplandia. I'm so mind blown.
Fourth time Clay and I have been here on our own, fourth or fifth.
But then back with the Lawrence Welk show?
Yes, we were here. Some people just brought up some pictures and showed us old pictures of my partner and I.
Because I recall you being inside this very Coliseum.
Yes.
Oh,
1972.
Do we want to go into numbers?
Yes. I'm 52.
1972.
But I look good.
I think she looks good for 52.
And are you doing any recordings today, presently?
No, we're not. We're haven't been.
Amazing.
Doing that for about 2 years. We're probably going to look into it this year.
What is life like for a former Welkie?
Gosh, it's busy and wonderful. We have.
Are you as busy or busier than you were back then?
So what happens after the rug pull is essentially what George is saying. You went from being part of Lawrence Welk. You were at the tip top. You rode Space Mountain. What's it like being back in the gutter?
No, I think it's about the same amount of time.
Yeah, Ananje told me earlier that where he filmed the French fry section was at the Big E, and then I was like mind blown then, but now having it like 100% confirmed. Not that I didn't trust Ananje, but you know, drugs make you paranoid, so I was a little bit. I needed confirmation from George.
I'm being on the road because Lawrence.
Well, I mean that's it, right? That's it. I have to go to the Big E. Not only was the greatest Grace episode of all time filmed there, but George Dorunda made French fries there.
Well, we were in town a lot there. I think it's about the same amount on travel. We perform at state and county fairs during the summertime like this, and in the winter times we do a lot of convention work for IBM, Martin Marietta, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, you know, things like that, where we fly in and we have a big orchestra. And so it's different. It's really nice. And we do television.
Have you ever worked with the Crimson Quartet?
You know, like Nashville Now or anybody
One of
like
my favorite shows.
Time
Prime Time. We're here.
Right here to Big E.
And she
with
took it all.
George.
She took it off for me.
My coat.
And do you keep in touch with any of the former Welk people that you used to work with?
I think we talk to each other occasionally.
People that you used to work with?
I think we talk to each other.
And do you keep in touch with any of the former time? We're here.
Right here to Big E.
And she
with
took it all.
George.
She took it off for me.
My coat.
And do you keep in touch with any of the former Welk people that you used to work with?
I think we talk to each other occasionally.
George is doing B-roll footage and inserting reactions.
My partner, Sandy, is out in Los Angeles and she has 8 children.
Now, eight children. My, oh my. It used to be Sandy and Sally.
Right, right.
That was another singing duo.
Yes, until I found Clay, and then there was no choice, right?
And you knew right at that moment.
Right at that moment.
He was the one.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, it is very cold today. Have you ever performed in a blizzard?
No, I think the coldest, we were talking about this today, the coldest place we ever performed was in Lancaster, New Hampshire, I think, yeah. It was 13 degrees, and I was in costume, we were in costume, and it's like now, see, your mouth.
Sorry, babe, the members-only jacket stays on during sex.
Mouth starts to freeze.
And then you have trouble talking.
And then you have trouble singing the song. And also, I play the fiddle, and your fingers
don't move.
Work.
Being a keyboard player, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
And your fingers don't quite move right.
No, so that's all. But that was a...
I like that, Van. He's like, just so you know, I'm a keyboard player, so my fingers work just fine.
Coldest. And the audience was so nice. They sat there for about 45 minutes, but they were all bundled up, and then we got an encore. I could have killed them. No.
And you were in costume, and the lights didn't warm you up at all that night.
No. That's the coldest it's been.
Well, it's not quite that cold here at the Big E.
No, but it's beautiful. We've had gorgeous weather, and thank goodness it's not raining.
It's been hot for a whole week.
Yeah, yeah. But it's pretty. People will love it.
I think George is really enjoying this one.
Bundled. They're bundled and having fun.
Well, maybe you better get bundled back up.
I'm going to bundle up.
Before you catch cold. Sally, thanks for being here on Prime Time. Hey, stick around. We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this.
Way back in 1988, when I was young, the American Cancer Society taught me that a low-fat, high-fiber diet could reduce the risk of cancer. I gave up some of my vices, didn't drink too much, ate my vegetables, especially those rich in vitamins A and C, and every bite was delicious. Today, I'm 82 and still having a blast.
Ready for warp speed, Commander.
Execute.
The American Cancer Society knows eating right can reduce the risk of cancer.
Yes, we're back here at the Taste of East Long Meadow, and we're here at Jessica Lee's, my favorite person here at, you've got these giant, what are they, coney dogs?
These are New Jersey Boardwalk Franks.
I've got to go there, Ananjay. It's like I have to now.
Boardwalk Franks.
Boardwalk
You can't
Franks.
find these anywhere else.
Only at Jessica Lee's. Quarter pound.
I'm going to go to the Big E, and then I'm going to have Ruby do a heartfelt sit-down interview with me about the importance of the Big E in my as a viewer and as an art aficionado.
Quarter pound, finest meat made by Groton Weagle.
That's my size, quarter pound. Let's see what. Here, Mark. Why don't you just take over?
All right, it's that time of the program. We're going to George Dorunda and the Entertainers with True Love Ways.
Just you know why.
Once again, Mark points out that this is George Dorunda's band with George never initiating that discussion.
Will by and by no true love ways. Sometimes we'll cry, sometimes we'll sigh. When we'll know why, just you and I, no true love.
What a vibe this is.
Throughout the days, while true love waits, will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll cry, sometimes we'll sigh, and we'll know why, just you and I, no true love waits.
Oh man, 57 views. His true passion is porn, much like Howard Finkel. Anybody remember yesterday when Ben brought up, like, unprompted, that Grace copes by watching hardcore pornography? Oh man, this is great. Prime time, I know George Dorunda is a big conservative, but prime time is one of the best shows to do drugs during. Entertainment purposes only. Oh, there's that kid again. This was recorded at the last moments of Jonestown. It's like the Titanic. The ship's sinking, but the band keeps going.
The days our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll cry.
Man, this is just so relaxing.
Sometimes we'll sigh.
What do you think? Could you do you think this would George Dorunda, the Entertainers, with this song is a good like to lay your lady down with? Well, you're on like a bearskin rug in front of a big roaring fireplace.
No, just you and I, no true love way.
That was this guy right here, George Dorunda.
I could have too. Like again, every song. I love that he keeps bringing it up.
And the Entertainers with True Love Ways.
Yeah, you know, we can't be done already,
We're
Mark.
all done once again, you know? The show goes by so fast.
But I'm still hungry.
Well, that figures, George.
Well, we have had a great...
I could honestly fall asleep to anything we watch. Everything we watch is just stuff that when I'm off stream, I'm just listening to like in my headphones and like drifting off.
Time here at the Taste of East Long Meadow, and I'd like to thank all my guests,
the Entertainers,
Sally Hart, and also
yeah, I did. Somebody told me about that a couple streams ago, I think, we had a little mini discussion about it.
So Michael, who's the world's fastest airbrush artist.
Officer Doug Pearl from the Connecticut State Police.
And that great group center stage. And I'd like to thank all the folks here at the Taste of East Long Meadow. Hey, we're here at JB's Ice Cream. And I think, well, wait a minute. Here's
He frequented all of 3 of his town's hookers.
your vanilla mark. I'm having peppermint stick. Hey, tune in next time. Good night, everybody.
Peppermint stick. Hey. I guarantee you I'm at least half the views, depending on how they count them, how long you have to wait in between views, but I'm at least half the views on Minnie Manson's, what was the song? It's not Country Roads Take Me Home, it's Rocky Mountain High. I'm addicted to Minnie Manson singing Rocky Mountain High. See, George Dorunda eating hot wings for content way before the hot ones. I believe Minnie Manson is a trans man. OG mukbang. George Dorunda. Dorunda did it. There's the shirt I need to have made. Dorunda did it. That could be my masterpiece. I could make the sitcom Dorunda Did It, where I play young George Dorunda, a budding television star trying to make it in a crazy world. People are big for the 80s right now. It could be retro. Now, this will sound bad because there's a negative connotation to the word, even though it doesn't have to be negative. I would say if you Dorunda something, to me, it's where you it could be used to either say that you're like fully exploiting something, or that like you've made the best of a not ideal situation, is how I would say it. And like on the sitcom, I would be playing George Dorunda on the show. So I couldn't play myself, but like how on Stand By Me, they had like the old guy was narrating. We could get Kid Rock to play me, and then he could narrate over the top. He could narrate the flashbacks. Or, you know, he could be the present day and then narrate the flashbacks. Like the Wonder Years. Two times in the same episode, just a big pile of wieners. Starring Grace Thorpe as Mary Lou Dragon. That would really fuck with ATF media.
You know,
All right,
tonight's show is so good.
How good is it, George?
Well, someday it'll be rerun.
George called it. He said one day this episode would be rerun, and it's been rerun 58 times. I don't care who they get to play me. Get Jeff Hardy. What's up, Dave's channel? If I made a trip out to Big E, right, to do a pilgrimage to Hooplandia, think of all the content potential. The Thorpes are there, Ruby's there, George Dorunda, I think, is still there. There's a lot of Foot Girl.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And let me tell you, what a show
Downtown Bruno, yeah.
we have for you this time on Primetime. But Mark, why did you drag me to the street corner
Well,
to do the
never mind
program?
about that right now, okay?
But why are we here?
Never mind about that. Let's tell
All right,
the folks who's on the show.
This is all your idea. Hey, coming up on the show, we have the high diving team, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
We'll be taking a trip down to the Whale Watch.
And also the John Boresca Band. But to start off the big show,
it's the Entertainers with Walk of Life.
Man, George is really putting himself over. They should do like a stunt casting for me and make it somebody like really outlandish.
Baby, what I say, you go Johnny singing, I got a woman that in your tongue trying to make it bang. He got the action, he got the motion, oh yeah, the boy can play. Dedication, devotion, turning on a night time in the day. Song about a singer and a woman, it's a song about the night, until we do the walk.
Out of respect for D-Dog, I would have to ghost the Thorpes, though. I would just not go meet up with them.
Do the walk of life. Hey.
Have to put the content first.
Do the walk of life. Here goes Johnny gonna tell you a story. Hand me down my walking shoes. Here goes Johnny with the power and the glory. Backbeat, talking blues. He got the action, he got the motion. Oh yeah, the boy can play. Dedication, devotion, turning on a night time into the day. Song by a singer and a woman, which a song about the night. Until we do the walk. Do the walk of life. Hey, we do the walk of life.
Man, I'm the Entertainers. I'm won over now. These last three performances, I feel like have all been good. Oh my God, what a great show. And to think the only reason that I know about this show is because out of the 50 million times I've seen some fan interview a wrestler and I never click on them, for some reason the picture of George interviewing George the Animal Steel, I clicked on it and then I was like, what? And then I found the big playlist. But like if I had just scrolled past that, I may have never seen this. Like that's literally an existential dread situation. I think you could trust George. I don't think he'd steal anything from your place.
You could Johnny singing all these goals. Leave out a little baby, what I say. You could Johnny singing, I got a woman that
oh my God.
trying to make it pay. He got the action, he got the motion. Oh yeah, the boy can play. Dedication, devotion, turning on a night time into the day. Song about a singer and a woman. It's a song about walk of life. Harry, do the walk of life.
Oh my God. Man, I'm glad I know all you guys, because I know maybe one person who would give even 15 seconds consideration to watching a show like Primetime. Like, I don't know anybody in my real life who would actually sit down and watch a whole episode. They just be like, I don't get it. What's the point?
That was the entertainers and walk of life. But when we come back, we're going to be going on a whale watch. No, I don't mean driving by Chiquette's house.
You'll see. Stick around.
Seriously? Whale watching? Wow.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young.
I want every real American within the sound of my voice to stand up, place your hand over your heart, and in a loud, clear voice, say it with me, we the people.
We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe.
I'll never forget when I tried to show some people Fish Tank Season 3 I know in real life, and they were like, this is a crime. Like, what's happening in this video is criminal.
How we treat it says a lot about us.
I am standing up. I'm at a stand-up desk.
Hi, we're here with Steve Morello of the Whale Watcher out of Barnstable, and we did just complete a
I feel like a whale watching excursion would be so keno for the Thorpes, because they have that, like, Grace really likes that, Wes Anderson, like, New England quirkiness. I feel like whale watching is just a natural, like, fit for that.
Successful whale watching voyage.
A very successful trip.
And how long have you been doing this?
This is my 13th year out here off of Cape Cod.
And you're a naturalist?
I'm a naturalist here on the boat, and otherwise I'm a wildlife photographer.
Wait, naturalist? Aren't those the people who don't wear any clothes?
And marine mammals are my specialty.
So we did just have a really successful trip. What exactly did we see? What are the technical terms described to us?
Humpback whales.
Humpback whales.
Humpback whales. We saw up close 5 humpback whales, and we saw 2 pair of cow-calf pairs, and that's always nice. Whenever you get to see whales, it's terrific. When you get a chance to see a cow and a calf, that's always special. And then when you get to see 2 cow and calves, that's even nicer still.
Well, yeah, I think what I'm thinking is it's a timed excursion, right? That once you're on it, and that like captivity would really like light up a lot of sensors on the Thorpes to get the content going.
Still, everybody always likes cow and calves, and we also have we had a good deal of behavior today as well.
Well, we saw something where the tails were flipping under the water. What is that?
Tails flipping out of the water is, I think we saw a couple tail breaches today, is what you were referring to, where essentially the whale is like bucking backwards, the way a horse would buck backwards. We had what we call close approaches, which is when the whales swim back and forth underneath the boat. A lot of people call it playing with the boat. Essentially, the whales are in many cases just as curious as we are, and they're investigating us. And that the close approach isn't, you don't see lots of splashing and jumping around, but it certainly is.
Never nudes that wear just the jean cutoffs.
One of the better behaviors that you can hope for. You get to see the entire whale up close, and up close is really an understatement.
So they really have no fears. They come right.
Hey, ATF Media, you'll appreciate this. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, man, I had something specifically for ATF Media, and then I forgot it.
Up to the boat.
That's true. They really don't fear the boat so much. These boats, these commercial whale watching boats specifically, do act in a certain way. If we were out there in a small private boat and buzzing around and really chasing them down every time they came up, they might behave a little differently. But the commercial
But they get
boats,
accustomed to the commercial whale watching boats.
That's right.
And I understand we saw some actual breaching. That's when the entire whale came out of the water.
Out of the water. That's right. These whales weigh about a ton a foot for the humpback whales.
A ton per foot.
A ton a foot. And so we were looking at maybe
a ton a foot. Wow.
40 tons of whale jumping out of the water. We saw quite a bit from the distance as we approached the whale, and then we had one or two good breaches that were very, very close to the boat. So that's as exciting as it gets. That's the best you could hope for. Is probably a breach. Maybe not the best you can hope for, actually. People who have seen breaches come back and they are interested in seeing something else. But as far as excitement, when you see an animal that big jump completely out of the water and land in the water,
and you're just a matter of less than 100 feet from this animal.
Right.
Whale of a card this week, folks, in Evansville. Be there.
That close, it's pretty exciting. That's for sure.
Now we quite often hear about whales beaching themselves. Why do they do this?
Strandings, that's the big question. And there are different types of strandings. You have individual strandings where you may have, for instance, a humpback whale that beaches themselves, or a finback whale, an individual whale. Now, the reasons for that can be many. They can be sick for many different reasons. Just like you or I can get sick, and whales do die on their own, and sometimes they just drift onto the beach, or they may go to the beach to possibly half support themselves by resting on the land and half support themselves in the water if they're too sick to swim. There's lots of different guesses or theories, whatever, and it depends on the individual circumstance. When you're talking about a mass stranding, however, that's a different story. And that still is a big question, although there does seem to be some guesses now that make more sense than guesses a few years ago. Typically, the whales that will mass strand here off the coast of Cape Cod or on the coast of Cape Cod are pilot whales, or different species of toothed whales. Now, toothed whales use echolocation. It's essentially a type of sonar. Pilot whales are typically in deep water.
Now, Grace was using echolocation in her hunting of Ruby because she was yelling out the window, hoping to hear herself on the phone so that she could narrow down via echolocation where Ruby SpaceX was.
Whale who are found here during the winter months, feeding close in on their primary diet, which is squid. They're inshore. Typically, again, when they do strand, it's stormy weather.
He said when he's on the ship, he's a naturalist. And when he's not, he's a marine whatever.
And so you have the sea churning up all the bottom sediment, which is very, it's confusing for their echolocation device. It's like putting your high beams on in the fog. You're getting blinded by so much return information. So it's difficult for them to essentially see where they're going. And if they're chasing squid, if they're feeding, if they have a frenzy going, one may end up on a bar, or the tide may go out behind them, or they're in deep enough water at the time, but all of a sudden end up high and dry there. They are very loyal animals. Toothed whales are very gregarious, and there may be an extreme almost loyalty to a fault, where if one animal ends up on the beach and starts calling distress calls, others will follow after it. They don't realize that there isn't anything for them that they can do. That may, in fact, be one of the reasons why sometimes when you take an animal that is on the beach and push it off the beach and get it back out to sea, it will turn around and come right back to the shore again. That's a possibility. There may be other possibilities as well. Besides it being stormy, besides them being in maybe unfamiliar area where they can't use their echolocation, again, during the time when they strand, there is often electromagnetic disturbances in the atmosphere. And pilot whales have a substance in the head.
I'm going to buy the rights to the Mary Lou Dragon story just for you, ATF, and then I'm going to cast Grace to play her.
That may be sensitive to those disturbances in the atmosphere. So all these things combined may contribute to a mass stranding. But again, they are guesses.
Well, whales have been around for millions of years.
Millions of years.
And it's now 1990. What problems do whales face today?
Well, the big problems that whales are facing are no longer the harpoon.
Beautiful question. This is 1990. What kind of problems are whales facing today? Perfect.
Harpoon does take its toll in Antarctica, on minke whales. There are other groups of people in various parts of the world that still hunt whales as subsistence in the Azores and the Bequia Islands, Eskimos, places like that. It's no longer the big commercial whaling, though, that is the big threat to these whales. Right now, the biggest threat to not only the whales, but all types of marine life and life anywhere is really habitat or pollution of their habitat, the fouling of their habitat. Thousands of marine mammals are killed every single year due to debris floating around the ocean, whether it's something as large as discarded nets that they become entangled in, or something as small as a plastic bag that they may swallow, mistake.
I mean, like for a show like Prime Time, a segment like this is pretty epic.
So if somebody throws that candy wrapper over the side of their boat,
it could literally kill
or a soda can,
a whale, any kind of garbage floating around the ocean. People, as something as small as a cigarette butt, they say, oh, cigarette butts are biodegradable. But until they do biodegrade, it's still litter. And a seabird may see that and think it's something else, swallow it, and it may kill them. Birds are just as important as the whales. There are maybe 1 million seabirds are going to die this year because of litter in the open ocean. That's a very, very big problem.
So it doesn't just affect whales, it affects everyone.
That's right. As a matter of fact...
Including us.
Including us. It all comes back around. And you want to talk about conservation and marine habitat, probably the biggest concern we should have is really not so much the whales. I mean, I feel they're important, you feel they're important, lots of us do. It's very...
Is that like when you get a star named after you?
Easy to get attached to a marine mammal. We feel for them. What people actually should really be worried about right now is plankton. And the plankton is being killed off at an alarming rate. The plankton is the base of the food chain here in the ocean, which essentially makes it the base of the food chain for the planet. It also produces more oxygen than the rainforest. We get about 80% of our oxygen from the ocean, from plankton. And if we kill off all the plankton, we sterilize the earth. So maybe we should, besides saying save the whales, save a dinoflagellate or something like that on our t-shirts.
Well, as you mentioned, you can get very attached to a whale, and especially if you...
George isn't buying any of that.
...see it as up close as we saw today. And if any of our viewers are interested in going whale watching, how can they do this? Who should they call, and for more information?
Well, they can call us here at the Cape Cod Whale Watcher, and our number, it's a toll-free number in Massachusetts.
Grace, Ruby, Cape Cod Whale Watchers is the next big thing. Get on it now. I'm telling you, get ahead of everybody else.
800-942-0920.
He seriously will, Randy. Like literally anything, as long as it's at least potentially interesting to someone, George will go after it.
And you'll be happy to send them any information, a brochure?
Sure, we can send them a brochure or take their reservations, answer their questions on the phone, whatever they need.
And advanced reservations are suggested.
It's a good idea, especially during the summer months. We get pretty busy.
Well, Steve, thanks for having us on this Whale Watch. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Really, it really is nice. After 13 years of doing this,
and there's something new every time out.
It's always different. So there's always something new to come back for, or to come out to see for the first time, whatever.
Thanks again, Steve. Hey, stay with us. We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this.
What a great guy. and right on time.
Hey, Brian. Don't. Listen, you want to get high? I got some great stuff.
Yeah.
No thanks, Mike. That junk's bad news.
Smart kid. He doesn't need that stuff. Nobody does. I'm McGruff, the crime dog. Now, watch these kids.
I'm bored. Why don't we get wasted?
Why don't you get real?
I've got a better idea. Why don't you get lost?
See that? It's happening everywhere. So, if anyone ever wants to turn you on, just turn them off. It's a great way to help take a bite out of crime.
Hell yeah.
My next guest is a real daredevil. You know why? He's diving out here and it's about 50 degrees.
Look at this guy's shirt. It looks like a old school water cooler cup.
Dana.
Hello.
From the
Pirates of the Caribbean high diving show out here at the Big E.
And your highest dive, you hold several world records?
Yeah, I've done the world record for the highest dive 7 times, and my last one was back in '84. It was 172 feet.
Have you ever been diving in colder conditions?
Well, I tell you, there was one other time, and it was here in Massachusetts also that we did it. And it was over at Riverside Park. We set up the equipment and did the show. And this was when I was working for another company. We did the show. The next day it snowed 6 inches. 6 inches of snow on the ground. So it was one other time. It was pretty cold. We did a show one time where the wind was so strong and it was raining. This was at Great Adventure up in Jackson, New Jersey, where the rain was actually going horizontally instead of vertically. It was crazy.
So you do deal with some treacherous conditions. That must drift you off the mark. Ever any thoughts of missing the tank completely?
Well, you got to be aware of what you're doing out there, and the most dangerous part of this show is actually the clown diving stuff, because that's when you're goofing around out there having a good time and not really concentrating on what you should be doing. I mean, you think about things like that, but you can't really dwell on it and you know.
I bet this is stressing out south to west.
Be scared of it, otherwise you won't be up there.
Then this isn't the business for you.
No, that's right.
Obviously. How did you get into this?
Oh, I started back in the days when they started the school busing, and they shipped me from one school over to another school, and kind of a way to break the ice with the new kids coming in. They had a gymnastics coach there who was also a professional diver, and I hung out with him, and one thing led to another, and before I knew it, I was doing shows.
So you were in diving right out of school?
Yeah, in fact, I turned pro doing shows like this when I was 13. So I used to do it just during the summer and then go back to school during the winter months.
And do you have an off season? What do you do in the off season?
Well, we have in the past, but this year we're pretty well booked up. We go from here to Tulsa, and then when we're done.
I remember when Christopher Daniels was in Ring of Honor, and he did the gimmick where he was like the cult leader, and he came out to a Marilyn Manson song. What was this? Disposable Teens. It was so corny.
Done with Tulsa, we've got another show. We do a bungee diving show also that's in Las Vegas. In fact, there's going to be one out at Riverside Park on, I believe it's the 22nd and 23rd. And then the diving show goes from Tulsa down to Florida, and we do the four fairs down there. So we do go south, thank goodness.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to tolerate this weather. Going south sounds good to me, too.
Sure does, I'll tell you.
So if anyone is interested in seeing one of your shows, what do they call?
Well, our booking agent is a company called Capital International Productions. And we've got an office in both Ohio and Illinois. And it would be 216-549-2155 or 708-940-0030. And speak to either Mick Scully or Dave Musselman, and he'll be happy to fix you up.
And they can book you for some of those winter shows.
Speak with Dave Musselman.
Yeah, some of them winter shows, some indoor ones, hopefully.
Oh, I sure hope so. Well, Dana, thanks for being here on Primetime. We'll let you get back in and get warmed up. And thanks for being here. And stick around. We'll be back with more Primetime right after this.
Oh, I think he was a great wrestler. I'm just saying, like, the gimmick was like that like the entrance and everything was cheesy, because I was used to coming to the parking lot to the shows and I would turn up Disposable Teens really loud just to be an asshole.
It's one of those days when everything goes wrong. It starts off bad and gets worse all day long. It's one of those days when you catch the blame for things you didn't do. It's one of those days when you need a friend to pull you through.
This is what Ben's like.
Bad days need good friends like you.
Adopt your own good friend today.
Yes, we're back with more primetime. Very exciting, Mark. You picked a great location. We're here on a street corner in Chicopee. Why are we here?
You'll see a little bit later.
All right, but hey, it's the John Beresca Band with singer Sandy Ballounis performing
When I Fall in Love.
Oh, fuck yeah.
When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to melt in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart,
This outfit, man, and it's all old guys.
it will be completely. I'll never give my heart, and the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, I will give my heart to you.
This is like simultaneously soothing and unsettling.
When I give my heart, it will be completely. I'll never give my heart, and the moment I can feel that you feel that way too.
This is Grace meeting up with OPC, King, and then Ben hanging out. For karaoke.
I will give my heart to you.
Awesome.
Yes, that was the John Beresca Band and When I Fall in Love. Hey, that just about wraps it up.
Wait
I'd
a
like to
minute,
thank
George, we're not through yet.
What's the problem, Mark?
It's the ceremonies we're having right here of the Chicopee Broadcast of the Year Award.
Ceremonies right here in prime time?
We're having it right here.
These folks get to see it first.
Right here.
Well, let's see. Who are the nominees? What do we have here?
Well, the nominees are for his video yearbook, Centennial of Chicopee, it's Jan Lesson. For 100 years at Westover, it's John Gordon.
100 years? No, that's only 50 years.
I thought it was 100.
No, it just took them twice as long to produce it.
Oh, that's what I must have been thinking of.
Yeah, we get confused.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was very soothing. I mean, the old guys were kind of weird, especially the perpetually smiling accordion player, but I thought it sounded like super relaxing.
Once in a while.
And for prime time, it's George Dorunda.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I suppose we have a winner.
Yep. And the winner is prime time with George Dorunda.
Me! I won!
You won, George.
Oh, this is too much.
And to present the award, it's Freddie Big Man Tenzar to present the Chicopee Broadcaster of the Year Award to Prime Time.
I am so honored, so proud, and so elated to get this Chicopee Broadcaster of the Year Award.
It's a real honor, huh?
It's more than I ever expected. I think we are out of time now, Mark, though. We got.
Wait,
I'd like to thank
we're
everybody.
not done yet.
We're
Hold
not.
on, no.
But George, we have a surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yes, indeed. Bring it in, Bob.
On behalf of Mathis Oldsby Cadillac, let me present you with the keys to this 1991 Fleetwood, George.
Oh,
Giving himself a car?
I'm so proud. This is the best moment on primetime we've
great,
ever
isn't
had. Hey, what did that other guy get for that last time?
I was waiting for ATF Media to say, all of this seems completely natural.
It was a cheap bug sprayer.
Well, it probably went along with the show. Hey, Fred, does the babe come with the car?
She certainly does.
Really?
Does the babe
hey,
come with
we're
the
out
car?
of videotape. Good night, everybody.
George Dorunda flexing. I guess we have to start saying Chicopee Broadcaster of the Year award winner George Dorunda. What if the car drives off a cliff? Come on, drive off a cliff. This is stressful.
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents would say, remember to buckle up, dear.
Oh, it's just the same commercials as we've seen before. Well, what a lineup of amazing George Dorunda content. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but they have AI summaries now on streams. And if you do one of them, it's really interesting how they break the stream down. I just didn't know if you guys had messed around with that at all. But whenever you do it, it will bring up follow-up questions sometimes based off of what it picks up on. And so one of the questions that came up when I summarized one of the Thorpe streams, that like a review stream, the question asked was, why is the speaker fascinated with the Thorpe? So I clicked to like see why it would say that. And here's what it says. It says the speaker is fascinated by the Thorpe's conflict because it's a never-ending soap opera, and then it has a timestamp, I guess, of me saying that. He finds it entertaining to watch the drama unfold and is invested in the various characters, their relationships, and how the story will resolve. Here's a breakdown of why he finds the conflict so compelling. It's a captivating story. The speaker likens the Thorpe story to a soap opera full of dramatic twists and turns and problems waiting to be resolved. He's familiar with the characters, their history, and their personalities, making him invested in their well-being and how they interact. The speaker enjoys watching the Thorpes engage in debates, especially when they are with other controversial figures. He analyzes their arguments and finds it entertaining to see who puts on the better show. Now, this is my favorite one. It's a distraction from his own life. The speaker admits he's using the Thorpes' drama as a distraction from his own problems. But he's not just watching for the drama, though. He's also interested in the meta-narrative, how the Thorpes' conflicts are playing out on the internet, and how that impacts a wider online culture. So that's why AI thinks I'm invested in the Thorpes. If you'd ever wondered that. Sorry, it was a lot. I had to get through it, though. But the AI breakdowns are really funny. Like, run one on a Tony Yeoman or a Savvy Guy. They're really entertaining to read. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I gotta go, though. I'll be back on Monday. But remember, Monday is going to be an unprecedented, and Tuesday is going to be an unprecedented deep dive into the mind of Ben Thorpe. So go into that aware. But thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. George Dorunda, absolute genius. 3 fantastic episodes. I will see you guys on Monday.